This is Rob, and this is episode 295 of the Cultra Trail Running Podcast.
From the belly of the Beast Coast, Glastonbury, Connecticut, this is the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. We talk about all the fun shit that happens on the trails that most normal people don't care about. The language we use is fucking explicit and raw like the trails we run on, so don't listen with your kids! Cultra is brought to you by our Patreons and supporters, and we are 112% listener supported, and support is good.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. I'm your host, Art Byram, and joining me back is Rob, and I'm going to say it right this time. I want to say Armatrua, what I said last time.
That is all totally wrong.
Amatruda.
Nailed it.
There you go. Look at that.
Hoka specialist and expert, Rob Amatruda.
That's right. He's like, he am an intruder. Like that's a way you can, is that work? Is that like, is the word intruder in there somehow?
No, but
No.
It could be. Yeah.
It could intrude in there.
Many different ways, but arm intruder is definitely, I think of Goro from Mortal Kombat, and I like that.
Oh, okay. All right. That works. Well, so we have a lot of interesting things that we don't know much about to talk about tonight.
Which is really the story of my life.
So, yeah, lots of good things happening. I got to tell everybody about my trip coming up, which will be exciting, to Oregon. So that, we can get into that a little bit. Maybe talk about our Patreons a little bit. And Norbrook Farms had, so Brian Vanderheiden and everybody over at Steep Endurance, they had a race this weekend, which was pretty cool. And let's see. And also the Jimmy had his 12-hour race too, but he didn't post the results. So I don't have the results to talk about, which
is he keeping them a secret?
I think so. They're secret results. So I think maybe, you know what, we're going to see if like in a week or two, we'll be able to talk about that. So.
Wow, that actually makes it more exciting to keep the results secret.
It does. We're not fucking telling anybody. So like,
Yeah.
if you know, you know, and you know what, I was there. I may have known and forgotten already, but it's probably not the case. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Fuck you, right? I'm gonna swear more in this episode. I didn't swear a lot because I just feel like I think I would need to swear more now. Like,
it's certainly allowed. You can say shit if you want. So
I'm just so not used to saying swear words like bitch or ass or butt or something like that.
Shit, piss, fuck, cuck, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits, right?
Wow, well, that feels like it was uncalled for, certainly.
Yeah, that's the old George Carlin. I mean, there's a bunch of boomers listening to this laughing their ass off. So.
I'm so young. I'm just gonna start that sentence with "I'm so young" that I know that from the classic Blink 182 song. There's a Blink 182 song that uses all those swear words as well. That's what I know it from.
Huh. Okay. So like just a reference to the reference.
Yeah,
so,
and also my young reference is 24 years old, so that maybe is not the most young thing.
All right. Okay. Well, that's all fair. So maybe we'll start with Norbrook. So I got to tell you, so Brian, I wanted to run Jimmy's 12. I shouldn't say this because now it sounds like I'm shitting on Brian's race, but I was going to go run Jimmy's race and I didn't sign up.
Oh no.
I didn't sign up. So I got knocked out. I didn't sign up. So then I was like, well, I can just I'll just show up late and then go for a run somewhere, or maybe park like 10 miles away and run there or stuff like that. Cause it's 12 hours, right? So you can show up
all day.
Yeah, you can kind of show up. And Jacques Sorbach, our friend from France, who has kind of been, a good part of the Hamden and New Haven and Cultra community. He's moving now, so he's going to San Francisco. So that was kind of like the opportunity that I had to say goodbye to him. So So that was kind of sad, but I got to hang out with him, last time there, which was nice.
Can I
So
say Jacques Chirac, your friend from France who's moving to California, is a very I don't know, not mystical, but fantastical sentence. But is that his name, Jacques Chirac?
well, that's probably how we pronounced it in the Patreon list. Is
Mhm.
Jacques Sarbac.
Jacques Sorbach. And I've met him. He's a
Mhm.
wonderful ultra marathon runner in Connecticut that also supports a lot of local races, right?
Yeah, yeah, yep. He
Yeah.
supports them by beating the shit out of them and winning usually.
He's really good too, huh? So he's a real
Yeah,
loss. We're losing in Connecticut.
yeah, no, yeah. He's a great person, supportive. Just I don't know. Can't say enough nice. He's just, you know, he's the best of us all. So
Did he win that race?
he didn't race that race,
Oh, got it.
so um, but yeah, so he's going on to the next chapter in life. So wishing him a lot of luck in that, and hope to see him in the West Coast sometime. So
So you didn't register for the race and you were gonna go run near it, but you didn't run near it, or you did?
yeah, yeah. So I woke up. That was kind of like I found out the night before that I wasn't going to run it. So then um, that morning, I kind of like my eyes opened at like, I don't know, 10 to 7. And I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to just go there now? And I'm going to be like, shit, I wanted to run this. And so, I mean, I don't mind hanging out with people and doing all that, but I wasn't really in the mood for that.
Mhm.
So I had heard that, Brian Vanderheiden was having a race out in Norbrook Farms, which is kind of the other side of Torrington,
Okay,
kind of
so
up.
pretty far away.
Yeah, yeah. It was good 35, 40 minutes or plus.
Mhm.
But and they had so then I kind of looked that up and I saw, they have race day registration.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, cool, I better pack something and find shoes. And it's like 7 o'clock and the race starts at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh shit, I got to get things together. So I'm just like doing a quick run through the house. No coffee, just grab a caffeine bullet, pop
Mhm.
that in the car, and had a new running pack, a new bladder for my pack. Um, and still in the box. So I bring that and I throw the box in the car and the pack in the car and don't really pack anything else with it, maybe a handheld, but no water in it, nothing full, nothing ready to go or anything. And start to go there. And I'm looking and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to get there 15 minutes before it starts. And
Unbelievable timing.
and then register and then be able to run. But of course, I have to make a pit stop on the way there. So
Is it to
I end up,
shit because of
yeah,
the
yeah,
caffeine bullet?
yes. So yeah, because I had probably because of the caffeine bullet. Thank you very much, bad
Oh
boy
yeah,
running.
it gets things moving down there.
Yeah. So I get there and it's like probably like 8 minutes till the gun goes off
Oh my
or
God.
something. And I'm like, fuck it. You know what? This is just too crazy for me to run up, get my bib. And I don't have like even, I wear like different glasses for running. And like, I just didn't have my shit together.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to volunteer. And I pull up and Holly, my friend Holly Durston was there. And she's like, so you going to run? And it's like, no, I was gonna, but I'm just late. And she's like, oh, come on. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's all
So
it took to get you
yeah,
to run.
she
Just
gave me,
someone saying, "Oh, come on."
yeah, she said, oh, come on. And I thought that was a pretty good fucking argument right there, right?
Can't beat that.
Yeah, like how can you can't argue with that, right? I mean,
You're like, well, you're right. You do have a point, Holly.
yeah, that's right. So so I go over to the registration expecting that there would be like a bunch of notebooks and like pencils and pens and things like that,
Yeah.
and I could pay cash and all this shit. But no, it's like, okay, scan this with your phone, then set up an account, and then go to Bike Reg, and then click this and do that, and confirm your ID and set up a password and confirm your password. and then, double, triple verification. And I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Meanwhile, they're lining up at the starting line. He's given the speech and everybody's getting ready to go. And I'm like, I still don't know whether I'm registering, confirming my email, or triple verification or whatever the fuck was happening. I can't see anything. And my hands are shaking so much because of the caffeine bullet.
Yeah.
So
And you're sure you were registering or were you getting your identity stolen? Because it
I
feels like
it's that's what the product is. That's what they do. And they're fucking, it's like this run reg program. I mean, they like want you to sign up for the newsletter. They want you to do like, do you want to donate money to, I don't know, to like everything. And I don't know, all this stuff. So I'm like panicking as everybody's going. I'm trying to stay calm, but like I struggle with all that bullshit anyway. And I may already have an account, but did I capitalize my name in the email or not, and my password and all this shit? So I'm doing the circle thing. And finally they just have pity on me. And they're like, here, take a bib and just go fucking run. We'll figure it out.
you were so confused that they felt so bad for you. They just gave
Yes.
you a bit.
They gave me the old man nod and just kind of pushed me to go because the gun went off. The gun went off and everybody took off, right? And then it's like a minute or two later, and I'm finally like, I think I said something like, fuck it. I said, can I just volunteer? I just don't even want to do this, right? And they're like, well, why don't we just let you go? And we'll, so I got special dispensation.
To save money, Art, is just to be so pathetic that they take pity on you and just let you run the race.
Yeah, I didn't have to try that hard to be that pathetic. It was just like it was just like too much. So in the meantime, though, everybody's, they're all lining up there, and I'm like not even looking up to like see who's there or whatever. And then they take off. And then I look up and I notice that nobody's there after they tell me I can go. And I'm like, I don't even know which fucking way the course goes. So I'm like trying to find where everybody is. So I start running through a parking lot, and I think I see somebody walking ahead that looks like they might be in the race. So I'm kind of like chasing the back of the pack up, and then, finally caught up. But it was fun. Like I had no idea about this race. I didn't know whether it was a 5-mile loop. I didn't know whether it was a 5K
I'm
loop.
sure the listeners want to hear, and I want to hear it too. I don't know a ton about it either. Can you just explain the race a little bit?
Yeah. So as I showed up, I kind of learned as I went, because I took off on that first lap with like the wrong glasses, no pack, nothing, like I did have a handheld, and that turned out to be fine. So it's a 5K loop with some pretty good elevation in it. In the 5K loop, there's a couple hills that just are just crushing. Like you just take a switchback and then it just goes straight up. So there's a couple hills there. Nothing. I'm not going to say that it's like a mountain race or anything like that, but I think you probably hit like 100 plus, per mile of elevation, I guess. But there's also some open fields that you can run through, and some other stuff. So most of it's all of it's pretty much runnable. There's a little bit of technical stuff, but
is it on a farm? It's a farm, right?
Yes, there is a farm. Yeah, so I guess you run across fields. That's probably what those fields were, right? They were farm fields, right? It's all kind of,
I don't know. Maybe
I'm putting it all together. So
coming together.
Yeah. So, but that was fun, and then, yeah, it was cool. I caught up to Holly and was talking to her, and, and that was pretty cool. And then I finished the first lap, and then I was like, okay, now I got to go get my pack, get the right glasses on, that are like single vision instead of bifocals.
But you don't need bifocals on the trail, right?
No, because you can't see your feet. If you have those bifocals that are progressives, whatever, it's hard to see. For me, it's hard to see the ground without tipping my head all the way down,
So if you wear your bifocals when you run, you can't see your feet?
Well, I can, but I have to like directly look lower. So I have to like look over the top of my glasses. So
Oh, so you're putting like going
yeah,
for
if I
down.
use single vision, then I can just see the ground, and so that's easier.
Wow,
So
things that I'm not looking forward to as I age, being the young man I am.
yeah, I hear you. It ain't easy. So
And they've even
I,
got trifocals now. Have you heard that?
I guess so. Yeah, mine aren't like bifocals with the like line between them and the chain around the thing, like the librarian type or anything, but they progress. So
Yeah, yours are like cool bifocals.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was
Oh,
thinking.
so you're getting through this first lap, and this
Yeah.
thing's 12 hours, right?
No. So this was a 4 hour race.
Oh, that's like
So
nothing.
that's what I figured, right?
That's
So
crazy.
so I took the first lap very easy because now, like, because I started so late and because I just wanted to go for a run. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to kind of hang out and see people and
You know
run.
who
And
else just wanted to go for a run, Art?
oh, I know, our buddy Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Right?
you knew my reference.
Oh,
How
of
the,
course I
how the
did.
fuck butt did you know my reference?
Because you're dealing with a professional here, Rob. Come on.
Holy shit. It's like you
Yeah.
could read my brains.
I just wanted to run. Sorry, I ruined your running party, Rob.
Oh my gosh. You're like what's that called when you can do the voices real good? A ventriloquist or something?
Um, yeah. No, yeah, not a ventriloquist, a guy who can do voices really well.
Puppeteer or something? Does it have to do with puppets?
It could, but well, a ventriloquist can do. He can throw his voice and speak without moving his lips.
Like what's that racist comedian that does all those puppet comedy things?
Oh,
What's that
shit.
guy?
My kids watch him. Yeah, with Bubba something.
I don't know. I think those puppets are pretty racist though, whoever
Yeah.
that is, but you're nothing like that guy. You're not a racist
Thank you.
guy at
I
all.
appreciate I appreciate that. So
Okay, so you just felt like running. You're on this run,
yeah.
first lap in.
So okay, so I do the first lap. I catch up with Holly, and we just kind of like kind of jog through the first lap, and then I go to my car, and then get my pack, and along with the bladder it's still in the box with the hose not attached, the quick disconnect, and
How many
I
hoes we talking about here?
yeah, just one hose.
What's her name?
Yeah, there you go. But it has a quick disconnect, unfortunately. So
I like where we're going with this. So wait, why did you have a brand new pack?
oh, because it's race day. No, I had and everything new on race day. Isn't that's the rule that we,
That's the motto I live by.
Yeah. No, I had the pack is old. The pack I actually got in Finland. So
Oh my gosh, all
I
this
did.
Finland talk.
Yeah. But the bladder had kind of had a like a mold of its own. It was just like, it was getting funky. It's kind of getting gray and dank and
And I like to initially think when it starts to get a little gross, it's like a probiotic because some bacteria is actually good for you, right?
That's true. That's true. I'll take that under consideration. That kind of
And
works.
I'm no doctor, but I think mold to some extent is good for you.
Yeah. It kills all the antibiotics or it gives the antibiotics something to act on that are injected into our food, right?
But you know what I say about moldy hose? If they get too moldy, you gotta let them go.
Okay.
So you got a new bladder, you pop that thing out.
That's right. Yep. I got that going, and now I grab a York peppermint patty,
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and I'm good to go. Right. So then I run the second lap. I throw down the second lap in a mind blowing 39.50 for the
Oh my
for the
gosh.
5K. So
That's like one of those things where like the flames are behind your legs, and sometimes you go back in time to 1985.
yeah, it was 188 gigawatts. So
Wow.
it was it was pretty exciting. People were kind of amazed and like they were
They were like
following me
that.
with a fire
They're
extinguisher,
like,
and
we can't believe that confused old man can run that fast.
I thought I thought he had a cane, but it was so that was good. And then I got done with that first lap and it was fucking hot and I was tired. And I was like, oh, that's right. I remember what this is. This sucks. I forgot.
Yeah, it's
And then I'm
hard.
like, maybe I'll just kind of hang out. So then I just kind of hung out for another lap and started walking and talking and hanging out and then did another, lap or two. Um, I had a good day. I just kind of talked to people on the trail and uh, didn't I don't know, didn't push it that hard. I could have, I did for one lap a little bit and but the rest of it I just kind of decided, because I kind of need to be mentally ready for a race. I can't jump in and push. To get my, especially like right now, I just like have so much like on my I feel like I have so much on my plate that for me to just jump in and do that is just, I don't need that. I don't need the extra pressure. Like I don't need artificial pressure in my life right now. So
And it does. You need to have some degree of like I don't know, emotional, what's a good word for it? Like space for it or capacity
yeah.
or something. And if you just don't have it there, you're just not gonna, your heart's not gonna be in it. I guess that's what they say. If your heart's
Yeah.
not in a race, you're just not gonna give it your all. And you're not somebody that lives by half-assing things, are you, Art?
No, no, I'm a total ass.
You're a whole ass, my
That's
friend.
right. So yeah, so that's kind of and then I just like had, yeah, we did like a really easy lap and then I was talking to Holly and she's like, yeah, maybe we're done like after this one. And I said, no, come on, we can do one more. Let's go and do another one. So
Well,
we
you
did.
you then oh come on her and got
Yeah,
her motivated.
right. I didn't even think of it that way. So but now it's kind of funny because there were also other people there. Um, there were a whole bunch of trailheads and other people um, from Western Mass that I don't usually, from the Berkshires and
Oh,
that I
like from
don't
the
usually,
Grand Tree series, classic Western Mass
yeah,
Trail series.
and they were all there, and I didn't even know that they were there and they didn't know I was there, and then we got back and we are like, what the fuck? There were like, okay, there were 36 finishers in this, and one person just did one lap. Okay, so there were like, you know, there weren't like that many people. There was also
Yeah.
there were several bike races there too, mountain bike
Okay.
races going on at the same time on sharing parts of the course, which was kind of cool. I always like that.
Very Vermont 50-esque.
Yes. But yeah, JJ Duran was there. My friend JJ. So
Oh, nice. Does JJ stand for John?
no, it's I think it's James,
Oh, interesting. I've
but
never.
it's really just JJ Duran. So
Cool.
it's actually, there's only one J, but because I saw he had Durand as his last name, I can't say it once. I always have to say Durand.
Like the great band, the great 80s band, Duran Duran.
Yes, he's hungry like a wolf, and
Yeah.
you know,
And he likes to go, what's the other song? His
uh,
name is Rio and he dances on. Is that Duran Duran?
yeah, I would say yes,
I don't think it
definitely.
is, but I'm just guessing. We're
I'm saying it
spitballing
is. It
here.
is tonight.
Let's go with it. So JJ Duran was there, and how
He
was
ran so far away, is what we always say too.
Mhm.
I don't even know if that's ran so far away, if that's their
One of the
song
best
too.
running songs of all time, I would say, outside of Born to Run.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Caitlin Rossi was there too,
Just
and
got married.
I don't think so. Did she?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the other Caitlin has a very similar name.
Well, congratulations, Caitlin Rossi, on your
Wait, no,
recent.
it's not Caitlin Ross. Caitlin Rossi's the other ultra runner person in Connecticut. Oh, damn it. Now who am I thinking of?
Oh, you might think it'd be Caitlin Rossini.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She just got married, right?
Yes. Oh,
And
I
she
don't
was there
know.
too.
Maybe Caitlin. Imagine if Caitlin Rossi and Caitlin Rossini got married.
Do you think they did? That'd be okay. I'd
I
be down
mean, they'd
with it.
hardly have to change their name,
That
right?
would be so convenient.
It would be just like a rounding error, right? It's like, yeah, that's pretty close. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but let's just go with they got married and congratulations.
Congratulations to them
Yeah,
both.
we're happy for
But
you.
I'm checking here, and I know that Caitlin passed me on the last loop,
Oh,
or maybe it was the loop before that. but somehow I think she got robbed because it has it shows that I finished in front of her by a whole loop, and I know that she did at least one more loop than I did. So
Well, it's a man's world, Art. That's misogynism, pure
yeah,
and simple, my friend.
yep. And yeah, I paid off the race director. It's not for a race that I was comped. I wasn't comped. I did go
They
back and pay.
honestly just probably felt bad for you, and they're like, "I'm going to win today."
Whatever. The law says we have to do this every once in a while, like,
Yeah,
pro bono racing,
yeah.
they get
Someone's
special
pro
tax
boning
breaks.
you, definitely. So you technically beat her of the 30. So let's talk about like who won this thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta
Um,
figure this out.
so Nick Colhay from Brookfield, Connecticut, in the time of 3:50:51 for the 4-hour race. So he left 10 minutes or 9 minutes and 9 seconds on the table, right?
What a lazy bastard.
Yeah. And he also, he tried to get it done fast. Like, so he was laying down like 27-minute loops. And looks like he just he went 31. So he did 8 loops. So looks like he got like 24 there, 24-ish miles, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
That is cool.
And Tyler Tilby, right? Yeah, Tilby. Okay. From Woodbury. So he got like he did the same amount of loops, but 7 minutes later. So he left just under 3 minutes on the table.
Yeah, it's pretty respectable.
Which is cool. Yep. And let's see. First, okay, and Donald Coletta looks like he came in third. He had one last loop, so he had 7 loops. And then first female was Gabriella Vigiano from Ridgefield. So, so pretty cool. Now I did hear something about the 5th place finisher. I want to talk about that. So he's from Beckett, Mass. Johnny Bonatemps. So he ran the 4-hour, and then rumor has it that he went and I'm going to just look this up to see if this was bullshit. So what the rumor has. So look at that. He got 3rd place in the 5K. He came back, and then there's a 5K that was later on in the day. So he doubled up. He did like a 21-mile warm up, and then came out and ran a 24:52 5K, getting 3rd place. So,
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, do you know how long it was between the 4-hour and then the 5K, like the amount of time they had off?
Well, let's see, 21 miles minus 3.1 miles. Or you meant time-wise between them?
Well, I just mean like what's the time differential between like when the 4-hour ends
when
and
did it start?
5K starts?
That's fair. That's fair. I think it might have been 3 hours or something like that, because I think this race was like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So they had a 5K and a 10K. So looks like Scott Cody from Colchester, or Coat, is the E silent or not? Cody?
Yeah, that's confusing.
Yeah. That's confusing, Scott. Okay. Just saying.
You got to work out this name. Like maybe put like an accent so it's easier for us to understand.
Yeah. I mean, so we know how to fuck it up. Right.
Yeah.
And let's see, who was the first female? Claire Keller was the first female finisher. She's from Bantam, Connecticut. So
also a weight class in fighting.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hold it. Say that now.
Bantam weight class?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Or a breed of chickens, right?
Bantam chickens?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, it's absolutely true.
Like, you don't know a lot about chickens, do you? Oh, wait, you have your chicken thingy, right? The noise thing?
No,
why'd you do the dick length right now? What is that, a chicken measurement?
Well, we're talking about cocks, right?
Yeah. What are you doing, a cock measuring?
No, I grew up on a chicken farm.
Come on.
I did. It's true. We had goats and chickens.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. We had Rhode Island Reds,
So you're
and
like a chicken expert.
I am. You
You're
asked me.
literally a cock expert?
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Fucking ask away. So no, we
Oh,
had
wait, I just want I know what's the biggest cock you've ever held?
well, we had this one rooster that was called we called him Tough Ox,
Uh-huh.
and he was this this big white rooster
Uh-huh.
who had these spurs that were like, I don't know, they were like 2 or 3 inches long on his feet. And he would, as when we were kids, we were like 5 or 6 years old, and he would run up and jump up in the air and land with his claws on you, like, so he would like jump on you, grab you, and start pecking you. So he came up and attacked my brother one time, my youngest brother, little baby Bobby Byram,
Uh-huh.
and scratched right over his eyes.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So my dad put an end to Tough Ox, and that was his last. That was his last day. His services were no longer required at the hen house.
And then did you guys kill or eat tough cocks?
Ox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We did. He was not that good, so I didn't enjoy eating cock.
Yeah.
So
He had
I have to say that.
it was not something that you will do again.
Probably not.
Well, Art, we all experiment in life and it's very normal. Even young people on chicken farms, they tend to get into some really unique stuff.
And I didn't even mention that we had a goat farm too, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything more, but goats have a ton of holes.
they do. So yeah,
That's the extent of knowledge I have about goats. Bunch of holes.
I've heard that. Yeah.
You know firsthand.
No,
But
not that I could tell you, but
so you know a lot about cocks, and I don't know how we got on that, but it come up so organically.
that's true. That's true. So let's see. So Dan wrote now I can never pronounce Dan's name right either. Rogos from Hamden. Dan's a fast dude, right? You probably raced against Dan a couple times, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the name, but he's a fast dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely fast. Yeah, very
He did the
fast.
5K.
He did he did twice that. He did the 10K actually.
Oh my God. Worst distance. I feel I hate running 10Ks.
Oh man. So that's two loops of this thing. He did it in 40:33 on the
Wow.
trail. That's I hate to say it. And I know you're like a fast cat, but like that's faster than like my road PR. I think my
That's
road,
what a 20 minute 5K on a trail.
yeah, yeah. 2015, 2017 5.
That's very quick.
That is. Fuck. Yeah, that's pretty impressive shit right there.
What's your 5K PR?
Mine?
Yeah.
1808
Oh,
on a short course.
that's
So
quicker.
yeah. Yeah, but my 10K is not 40 minutes. I think I ran at I now in all fairness, the 5K time I tested a lot, right? I did that a lot, but as you know, there's not that many 10Ks out there really.
No.
So like I think my fastest one was at the park in Massachusetts. What's that? Forest Park.
Yeah.
So, and that's a hilly one. I ran it in the snow and ice, blindfolded. Um, probably a long course. I think I did like a 40. I'm thinking it was a 43 or something like that. So,
Fun fact about me, I'm from originally the town Long Meadow, and I ran cross country when I was in high school, and our cross country course was in Forest Park. So there's a good chance that I ran those trails as well.
no kidding. Wow, very good, very good. You're now. So, what's your 5K PR?
I ran last year or 2 years ago, I ran a 1754 or something like that. But it was a
Oh,
hilly course. It was it was the East Windsor Veterans Day course, which is a road course, but it's very hilly. So,
Mm,
and it was windy. And I think I was wearing old shoes and I had a cramp and I think I was hungover from the night before and I had
mm.
recently had an emotional argument with my wife and my kids hated me that day, but some reason I hit that PR.
Wow. That's great. I tried very hard to get to go sub 18. Not that I tried very hard. I tried a couple times, you know. I tried one time in particular that just like convinced me that I shouldn't do 5Ks anymore
Mhm.
after
Oh,
that. But
come on.
oh no, it was so bad. It was the time that I ran the 1808 because I ran the first mile sub 6, like 5 something. I ran the second mile sub 6, like 5 something. And my friend Jay Sattler, I don't know if you ever raced against Jay. He hadn't raced in a while, but uh, hasn't he used to just like win a lot of the 5Ks. He and Mike Keenan, who I'm sure you know Mike Keenan,
Hmm.
probably from like
Yeah,
King of Pain and
definitely.
Glastonbury and stuff. Um, so yeah, and Jay paced me for this. Okay. And I got to 2 miles in and going, and this was in like around Addison School in Glastonbury, and I'm getting ready, and I know that I'm just going to run up the Addison Road and I'm going to make a left into Smith School, and it's kind of like a long downhill parking lot with a slight uphill at the bottom. And I'm running, and there's just this group of guys, like 3 or 4 guys in front of me, and like I think Brian Gaudreau, um, and like Ned Kennedy, and a couple other guys were in front of me, and I'm like, I'm feeling good. I fucking got 1 mile to go. Let's go. And so I see them, and I'm like, I got to just push. And so I passed them. So I passed this group of like 3 or 4 guys and started to pull ahead. And then all of a sudden, the shit hit the fan. And I don't know what happened at the end, except that I remember somebody saying something as they went by me. And I just kind of like, I don't remember the last quarter mile of the course. And I just kind of ended up at the finish line making a strange noise, and then like wondering what the noise was, and then realizing it was actually me,
Oh,
and
wow.
putting my hand over my mouth to shut myself up, because it was like, and at that point it was just like, yeah, that just was, and that's normal for me to like finish like that, but not to basically black out at the end. And that was just like, after I did that, I was like, okay, I think this is pretty good, and I probably would have tried. I just, for whatever reason, something else came up, and I didn't get a chance to really go for it after that. So
Those experiences can be really scary, though. I think that's a pretty common experience to have where you're feeling like you're very out of it or you can't remember
mm.
things or I don't even know where it comes from, honestly. I wish I knew more about. We should have a doctor on here sometime to explain like why do we brown out or black out as we finish hard efforts sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, it's almost, it had to be like hyperventilating or just pushing, my governor, like, I guess like that's probably, I'm guessing that's kind of like the self-governor kicking in at some point that says like, okay, you don't want to stop. Okay, we're going to stop now.
Yeah, your
But
body trying to tell you what you need to do or what's right for you and just trying to
mm,
make you go unconscious or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I ended up going, but I'm like, so Rob, you have to understand this. With me, there's always a lot of drama.
Yeah,
Like it's
I don't think.
never like I'm not one of these guys that like finishes the race and then it's like, all right, or I'm like a little bit out of breath. It's like I fucking go and like something happens. Like I'm sitting on the bench and they're wondering if they should call the ambulance, or Boston, like I think more times than not at Boston, I'm in that medical tent. Like, and last time I did it, I started, I was fine when I finished. And then like 5 minutes after I finish, just like the shit hits the fan. All of a sudden they're like, hey, you want to can I just put my hand on your shoulder here? Cause I'm just feeling I'm not feeling like that good. Like, you want to sit down? Yeah. Okay. Hey, how about in this wheelchair? Okay. Hey, why don't we bring you over here? Why don't we? You want a Gatorade? And then I sip the Gatorade, and next thing you know, I'm like passing out and waking up with, with an IV and an EKG and the whole thing. And and so, like, I don't know. Yeah, I get that kind of gets old after a while, or you just start to kind of question it. Like, I don't know when that happens.
And that happened to you at Boston?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Boston. I've been there 8 times, and I think I went in the tent. I probably didn't race it. I'm gonna guess 3 times that I just ran it. But of the 5 times that I raced it, I would say that I think I ended up in the tent like maybe 3 or 4 out of 5 times. I think I ended up in that medical tent. So, um, or other ones like Vermont, the same, once or twice Vermont, the same things happened. So I think the racing in Vermont got me there. So, but
Yeah, so at least you should be used to just having all that drama and like the medical issues post race.
yeah, yeah. But it is like, I don't know. It's like I'm okay not to do that too now.
Yeah, you sort of like
So
not doing that.
yeah, yeah. But how about you now? How did when you because you the times that I watch you finish, like I'll see because you run some pretty impressive stuff, right? I
An
mean,
older guy, yeah.
yeah, like and like, but you when you finish, usually you're like, yeah, like you seem to be skipping in that across that line, like.
Yeah,
But
sometimes I throw up though. Sometimes I'll throw up.
okay,
But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I think I really, as I've gotten older, I try to prepare for races more, and then as
hmm,
much as I can, I try to do that either pace or um time prior to a race so that I know that I'm sort of like at that point, and then I carefully try to not overdo it. But I don't know. I use PFITs a lot, and one of the PFITs methods of the training plan, what is it? Pete Fitzenberg or
oh
what's
yeah,
his name?
Fitzinger and Douglas,
Yeah,
like
that one.
advanced marathoning.
Yeah, that book is great and I love it.
Yeah.
But a big component of that, the racing plan, and I'm sure a lot of racing plans are marathon paced runs where you're doing something
Yes.
like what, a 3 or 4 mile warm up, and then you're doing marathon pace for like 12 miles or something. Do
Yes.
a couple
Yes. That's the
miles.
killer in the 70 up to 70
Yep. Yeah,
race plan.
it's an awful workout.
Oh, it
And
is. It's
it is
horrible.
it just really gets you in that like just the mental mindset of this is gonna suck. I hate this. I can't believe I'm doing this. But when you're done with those workouts, you feel like $1 million and you feel
Right
prepared
on.
for those races. So I think
Yeah.
that's generally why. Although honestly, I've had 2 races. I did New York City half marathon earlier this year. I blacked out in that. My friend asked me, I think said this last time I was here, like how was running through Times Square? And I was like, I don't even remember running through Times Square because I went out on that race at like I think 5:45s for a half marathon.
Mm.
I held that for 4 or 5 miles, and I just you go over the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever, and you're in Manhattan, then you run through Manhattan, you go through Times Square, only race in the United States, whatever, New York City that runs through Times Square. Don't remember a thing because I was so blacked out. Um, no recollection, but generally I finish races pretty strong, but in that one in particular,
Mm.
nothing.
And that was a PR for you, is that right?
Yeah, I ran that one in an hour 19, like low 119. But so
Very
that I
good.
was pretty happy with that. But generally,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I finish these races, I feel pretty comfortable. Sometimes
Hmm.
I'm generally known in my little bubble of people that know me as a runner as somebody that I go out too hard. I'm one of those. So many of us are like that I'll go out too hard and then fuck my race plan, and it's just like
Mm.
I'm screwed at the end. Then you're like, I need to hold on
So
and just
you do that with the longer races, huh?
yeah. I sort of did that with
Huh.
Boston. When was it? Last year, where I went out sort of against my race plan, just too fast, and I blew up at the end, just like everything. We all do that. My life in general, I feel like.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, because that doesn't, I mean, here's the thing, for marathons, that doesn't work for me. I mean, I've done that. Like an example of that, I ran 2007, I ran a 316 316 even at Boston, my first Boston. And then Vermont City was a couple weeks later. I think it's 6 weeks later, something like
Mhm.
that. And it was a nicer day, like, because 2007 was windy and a little bit rainy. It was actually a pretty good day. And I thought that that Vermont was an easier course.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, ran a 2000, ran a 316. I bet I can do a 310, right? And 310 is a good pace to go because the math works, right? Like
Yeah.
it's easy to tell, like if you're a little bit off or in front of it, it's easy to tell how, about where you're at. So I did a 310 for 20 miles, right?
Uh-huh.
Pace. And then I go into the last six and I go from the 310 to the 316. But still, the whole time I'm thinking, fuck, I'm just dying here on this last part, but at least I'm going to PR, right? And so I ran a 316.12.
Oh,
I
oh my
was like,
gosh.
fuck.
That's so frustrating. That is a
Which,
hard course though. I've done Vermont City and it's pretty hilly, 1,000 feet of vert, I think.
yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot. Like, but yeah, it can be, I think that's like any marathon, it's weather dependent, that can be brutal, brutally hot, so, um, but I've paced that. I've run that a lot of times, but I've paced it like, I don't know. I probably paced that 7 or 8 times at least. So, um,
And Burlington's so nice. How nice is Burlington?
oh
Shout out
yeah,
to that
yeah,
city.
yeah. My mom was in Jericho, Vermont, so I'd go to visit her and hang out there. And as a pacer, you get the race, as you know, you get the race for free. It used to be sponsored by Mizuno, so I'd get a pair of of shoes. I'd get like a whole kit and sometimes socks and the whole thing, the whole deal. So,
You get
and
real
then free
pampered
rate,
up there.
yeah, free race entry and everything. And
Some
Mizuno,
glittery maple syrup. Do they give you maple syrup?
I don't think they gave me maple syrup. That would be
Yes.
that would be good, But no, it
Very
was it was a
important.
good deal though. So
It always is. Yeah, maybe you should pace Hartford this year with me.
yeah, I've paced the half there. I guess I paced maybe I paced the marathon too once. I think I did the 335 one year or
That's the
something.
one I
So
usually do. You should pace it with me.
yeah, not this year at that. At 335, I'd be doing the Rocky dance at the end if I ever did that. So, or I'd end up in the medical tent. So
You did those. That's all the Norbrook. So, and then you said that Jimmy Mack had a race this weekend too. Did we talk about that yet?
yes, no, we didn't. So his 12-hour race, which was at what am I saying here? At Jesus, Brooksvale Park in Hamden.
Hamden's great. That's little area of New Haven. Is it part of New
Yeah.
Haven? I don't know.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's right off of that. Yeah, I'm convinced that is such a hot spot for trails. Um, and I think it's just like, God, if you live in that area and you run the trails, you're going to be good, right?
And
You can't,
what are those? The Ramblers are over there or whatever?
yeah, yep. West Rock Ramblers. Um, they're just, I mean, they're just fucking wonderful people. And the like I run there, and every time I run there, I just look and I can't imagine how people stay in their shoes, like without destroying them, because it's just like you run the Regicides Trail. This is kind of right near Yale for people who are wondering, so it kind of towers over Yale. It's just this um, uh, big rock mass that's up there, big basalt, trap rock stuff that just sits up there. And you just go and it's just pointy shit and lots of fun.
They call it regicides, which I believe means the murder of a king.
Correct.
Do they call it that because the rocks could kill you?
Yes, no, the rocks have killed kings. No, they call it the regicides because when they in England, there was you know that they killed a king at one point, and
Obviously, yeah.
the group that and I'll probably fuck this up, but basically the group that conspired to kill this king um, and take over the power when the powers to be took it back over. They did all of the fucking like when people talk about like I'm gonna go medieval on you,
Yeah, I say that
like
all the time.
that's what they fucking did. It was like, okay, we're not gonna like find you and fine you, or we're not gonna like, oh yeah, we're gonna sue you or try to impeach you. No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna like rip open your guts and then make you eat it and like, draw and quarter you. And so they wanted to kill these fuckers dead. And like, so people who a couple of the guys who were responsible for killing the king moved hid out in like in the caves and in those mountains there. Um so because I know
In the
nobody could.
mountains in Hamden?
Yes, yeah,
That's
because like
crazy.
they're not, who's going to look in Hamden, right?
I wouldn't, I can't even believe that. That's crazy. You
they
know,
they
they would put the horses on your limbs and then have the horses run and it'll rip you apart. That's another way they've killed people too.
Yeah, they quarter you, meaning quartered, like as in four pieces.
Oh my gosh, that's
So
spooky to even think about.
it is.
So that's why it's called the regicides. And is that part of Sleeping Giant?
No. So Sleeping Giant's separate. um, so Regicides is actually on West Rock, heading towards the Quinnipiac Trail, which eventually the Quinnipiac Trail does hit Sleeping Giant, but this is to the other side of it. This is closer to the um, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's just kind of it's in the vicinity. But but the thing is that if you live in that area, you can go to West Rock and run. You can go to East Rock and run, which has its own. That's more runnable, but nice long hills to run up, on roads. Or you can go to Sleeping Giant, which is just a fucking beast.
Yeah, you
Um,
probably need some real strong Hoka trail shoes to deal with those jagged rocks, right?
yeah, you need something. You need something. I don't know if anything can really help you. You know.
And that's where, so the race, Jimmy Mac's really cool, amazing race that everybody should do is in regicides.
Yeah, that's West Rock, the Blue to Blue Challenge, the toughest 50K in the state. So, yeah,
Is that a
that
fact that that is the toughest 50K in the state?
I would say so. I don't know. You could, I think that anybody who says that they even have a tougher 50K of trail in the state, it would be open to interpretation. Like I think that you could put together a route on the AT, like maybe going up Lion's Head. I
Mhm.
mean, excuse me, I'm going up Bear Mountain.
Mm.
I mean that is like you are like I don't know, like if you're wearing bifocals, like you can't see your way down that fucker. You
Yeah, it's
know,
dangerous. Like you wear your single focal.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, I would argue that there's some trails around there, or maybe somewhere along that New York border that are you know, that are comparable. But I think then you're kind of getting into, besides probably really Bear Mountain would be the real exception. I think. I don't think there's any, I don't know of anything that's really where you could put together a whole 50K that is as rough as that. Because even Bear Mountain, I think once you're down it, I don't know. There's areas to run. Some of that's runnable after that. So
Wow, so that's a real tough rate. And that's for anyone that wants a challenge in Connecticut or even in New England or the country. They'll really look into that blue to blue 50K thing.
yeah, I would say so. If Jimmy will let you in though. So you know,
And that's Jimmy Mac's race, the blue to blue thing.
it is. Yes. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's a good one to check out if you're if you want to kind of see what it's got. So, and what you got. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. Brooksvale was a lot of fun hanging out. It was a great vibe there, and saw a lot of a lot of friends there. So, um,
And if you had to rank it like out of 10 cocks, where 10 cocks is like the best and one cock is the
mm,
worst, what would you give that race?
um, well, I was just hanging out there, so I didn't run any of it. So I would say, I mean, it's 12 hours, right? So it's as much as you want to handle, but the vibe was great, It's low key. You come in and you put your name on a board, or somebody marks you off with a magic marker on a board. So it's not, no inflatable arches, none of the bullshit, just the
So classic trail running.
oh yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep. So it was it was a good time. Uh, so it was good just to kind of hang out there. So
You didn't run that race because you ran the other one, and then this is the one where the results weren't are not at this point known.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep. Um, so I bet they're probably, he probably has them on Facebook somewhere. I just went to Ultra sign up and didn't see him there. So
Yeah. You think they're behind a paywall somewhere?
probably yes.
You think
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think if you
cash
go
grab
to
situation?
yeah, if you listen to the Roche's podcast, they probably have that in their Patreon only section. So, you know,
Well, I guess people have to pursue that,
yeah,
whatever it is.
that's what we recommend. So, or 10 Junk Miles probably has it too. You can check with them.
Are we
Oh,
friends with those junk miles guys?
oh yeah, yeah. They're well. It's yeah, we are,
Is it like a
we are.
love-hate relationship or is it just a
It
love-love relationship?
it's now it's all lovey dovey. So yeah, we had our moments early on. Yeah,
Mhm.
we had our moments early on. So because it was like when we came into the space 5 years ago ish, more than 5.5 years ago now.
Oh wow.
Um, it was like 10 Junk Miles was like, there were like people who were like professional running podcasters, like,
Yeah.
oh, what is your, like, I don't know, just
Like
talking,
us.
how many miles do you run? Tell me in a serious voice, what's your training ethic?
Oh
And,
my gosh. It's intense.
and all that stuff. But like 10 Junk Miles was like, yeah, let's just, fuck around and find out. And, still like, yeah, I don't know, just about having fun, having fun with your friends. Right. So, um, so we kind of I'm not a runningologist or anything like that, but we kind of just started doing our thing, which happened to be very similar to what they were doing. So so I
Mm.
think that we stepped on some toes just because sometimes, you ever have that like where um somebody tells you something, it probably happens like it always happens with my wife and I,
Mhm.
like it's like as we remember things, it's like, oh yeah, remember when I said we should do this? And it's like, well, no, I thought I said that, right? you know and like we would hear their jokes sometimes, and then if I repeated those, all of a sudden, like after somebody says it a couple times, you forget where you heard it, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of it was, I made as much of an effort as I could when we started our show not to use any of the same words or call us anything that, like, they call themselves a gang. I never once ever referred to the group here as a gang. It's always our crew, the Cultra crew. um but you could kind of like, at the end of the day, somehow, like, a lot of the ideas went to the same thing, and maybe that's just like a function of what you do. Like, it's like hard not to do very similar things. I think it kind of naturally leads down this road. So
Yeah, and I think that stepping on toes is pretty common in that regard, especially
mm,
like how many different ways you can talk really about running. So,
yeah.
was there a point at which you guys had like a real beef? Like, was there a beef situation? I want to hear some drama. Was there
Oh, the
like,
drama. Yeah. I mean, I think there was, yeah, there was a little, we had our hotter spots. I think, oh, you know what, probably if we had a high water mark, it was probably during COVID.
uh,
Because like at COVID, I think COVID hit, we were around in late 2018 was when we started. So when COVID hit, we were just hitting our stride, right?
mhm.
And so we were going, but then all of a sudden, we were recording live at my house every week. And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and like COVID hit in 1 week. We were like, okay, we're all going to sit in different corners of the room, and do it that way, record live. And then after that, it was like, after March 12th, where the shit really hit the fan, like schools were closed, everybody went home. And we didn't know whether we were all going to fucking drop dead or some people did, people were dying, and so there was a big fear, and it was hard to even talk about it or talk to, like be public at that time. But we also felt like we wanted to do something to keep us all connected, because at that time people weren't getting together with their friends. Mm-hmm. So we did things like virtual runs, like where I'd have a Zoom call, mm-hmm. and I'd say, okay, everybody get your phone and go for a run. And, you can, mute when you want to, but when you get somewhere with a view or something like that, or if you have something to say, just, tell everybody on the Zoom call, show us a picture of where you're running, So we had some of those days, and it was just fucking awesome. And then they started interviewing, like, I think something called Meet the Nation. Mm. And we started where they would interview for 20 minutes members of the audience, right? Just like a quick, I think standard questions and things like that. So I felt like we were home, and I felt like I needed to do something else, like to like help us stay connected. So I started doing this thing, Cultra Personalities, right? So where it was basically the same thing. So we did for a very short period of time, we started doing that. And I think that just kind of pushed them over the edge. It was like, okay, we do this, then you do this, then, and it was like, at that point we were, I think just like, it was a little bit too much, for them. So it blew up, and then so Scotty puts on a race out in Wisconsin, right? The Badger 100. So Jimmy and Fred and Becky and I flew out, signed up for the race, and flew out to the race. And because I had never met him before, really. So, or never met his gang. So we went and ran the race and just had a great time. And, I wanted to go there just to kind of, I knew that, like, if we met face to face, that it would be, all the bullshit would go away. Right. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I listened to him and feel like, fuck, this is a guy that, like, we're both in recovery. We're both runners. We both, like, enjoy, like, all this. We should be fucking best friends. Yet we're, like, fighting here, and this is stupid. So, so I go there and I say, yeah, I just wanted to come out and, like, really, like, say, hey, listen, I'm sorry if we, I'm sorry for where we are right now. Okay. But, and then he goes, you could have just picked up the phone and fucking called me.
Yeah, traveling halfway across the country seems like a pretty intense way to go about saying I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it was great. So, and so that
did
was.
You feel like it was a fair thing for them to be? And I don't know what. So what did they do? Did they call you guys out on the air? Did they say, like, hey, or were they, like, poking fun at you guys a lot or something?
Oh no, I wouldn't care if they poke fun at us. Fuck, we poke more fun at ourselves than anybody could. But no, I think it was just I don't know. I don't know. I think, it was just like, they kind of just, like, made it known that, like, that they weren't happy with us and whatever. So
you think over the air they were, like, saying, like, oh
no, I mean, they didn't go out of their way. I mean, because honestly, like, I think we probably at that point, like, they're just, like, a lot bigger than we are. Mm-hmm. So, like, if they start bad mouthing us, that would be a fucking home run, right?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Any attention's good attention, right?
Yeah. So we didn't, that wouldn't have bothered it. But it just, to me, I just, for whatever reason, I just don't like to fight with people. I don't like
conflict.
I don't like to be people that I respect to be in conflict like that. I want it, like, resolved, like, either, I don't know, either I don't know. Like when I like somebody, I don't like that conflict. So I did stop listening to the show completely, just because, not because I didn't want to listen to it, but just so that I wouldn't copy anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd find myself listening and I'd like, fuck, that's funny. And then I was like, shit, I better not say that. And then like I think of that. And then I'm like, where did I get that? Did I get that from their show? I didn't want, so I stopped listening to their gang shows and just kind of listened to the interviews. So,
Yeah, it's very true. Like if you copying things like that without even thinking about it is very
mm,
easy. So a lot of comedians will do that. They won't listen to a lot of other stand-up comedy because they don't want to influence their own what they come up with, their bits and their acts
yeah,
until especially they have their own like voice in comedy. So it's pretty common. I think it's a good idea to not listen to it. And it
yeah.
doesn't sound like you feel like it was unfair how they went about it. You seem like it was okay. It was more just like you didn't want ill will between you
Yeah,
and them.
it was unfair in a certain way. Like, I think, I mean, I understand why they were upset. I think if it were reversed, I may or may not have been upset. I think I may have been. But I think at the time as I was doing it, I felt justified because I was like, I don't call myself a gang. I'm calling myself a crew. So like that's different. And I kind of felt like I felt like I went as much. I didn't use like electronic drops because that's something that they did. So that's why I had the monkey, because it was like all of our sounds were organic, or the bell, or all the different things that we do are all live things, not electronic ones. But I don't know what fucking difference that makes at all. So like to me, I drew a distinction between all those things and felt that I was being unique and different. And I think that they're like, well, it's the same fucking thing. They had I mean, there's like a lot of parallels. Like they had a bonk line, a place that you call when you're out running and you start to lose your mind. When you're bonking, you call up and record on this thing. I came up with the Cultra karaoke hotline, where if you have a song stuck in your head, you
Uh-huh.
call and sing
Yeah.
it, and we make your podcast famous by calling
Yeah, I love that.
203
That's so
Dog
much
Jet.
fun.
So, and I looked at those things as being different, but they're like, they kind of like put it all together and said, duh. So it's almost like when you're like, I'm not like my father, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, shit. It's a lot. It's a
Are
lot
you
of like,
saying
so
Cultra has daddy issues?
maybe, fuck, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
they
Fucking does.
created
Hold on. Let
the
me ask the Magic Eight Ball. See, they
I
don't
guess
have the Magic
fucking
Eight
do it.
Ball.
Let's fucking butt asshole do it.
Okay, so does Cultra Trail Running Podcast have daddy issues? Let's see. My reply is no.
Oh.
Okay, so that's not it.
Wait, can we ask it if it has mommy issues?
Oh, do we have mommy issues? I probably do. I think, oh, ask again later. Don't fucking bug me.
Okay, and this one's just maybe for me and a couple people, but does it have step mommy issues?
Does it have stepmommy issues? That's for Patreons only. We'll reveal
Yeah,
that.
we'll save that one for
Yeah,
later
our
'cause I like
fans
that
only.
stuff.
Let's see. Um, Outlook not so good. Fuck.
What is this? All fucking negative? What is this fucking butt ass thing?
Is the Magic Eight Ball all negative? Without a doubt.
Yeah, there you go. And I know we just briefly touched on fetishes, but I've got something for black balls that I just can't.
You
Can we
can't
ask
help
it
yourself.
if does Rob have a fetish for black balls?
Okay, we'll see. And it says, better not tell you now.
Ooh, that's for the Patreon only
So
too.
okay, Rob, do you have Chat GPT?
I do. I have it up right
Okay,
now, in fact.
you do. Okay, good. So let's have a challenge here.
Okay.
So we need to determine, because really, I think that Magic Eight Ball is better than Chat. Okay, so what's a yes or no question? Um, let's start with the easy one, right? Is it going to rain tomorrow?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask mine.
I'm asking
And
right
then,
now. And I have ChatGPT 4 on my computer.
okay. So what's your answer?
Is it going to rain tomorrow? Okie dokie. It currently says the weather forecast for tomorrow varies depending on your location. For example, in Brooklyn, New York, the day is expected to be overcast with temperatures reaching up to 83 Fahrenheit in the afternoon. The chance of rain is minimal, but the sky will remain mostly cloudy throughout the day. Meanwhile, in Westfield, Massachusetts, the forecast
Hold
also.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yes,
Wait,
sir.
wait. I'm calling bullshit. Like, I think it's just prevaricating because it doesn't know.
Wait. You want it to be yes or no, correct?
Well, yeah, I asked, is it going
Okay.
to rain tomorrow? Yes or
Is
no?
it going to rain tomorrow? Please answer in
So right now, I would be telling
or
chat too long didn't read, right?
no. Okay, here we go. So I asked it again, is it going to rain tomorrow? Please answer in yes or no. And it said, no, it is not going to rain tomorrow. The forecast indicates
Oh,
cloudy.
see, it can't fucking help itself.
I
You
can't.
tell it what you want, and it still doesn't listen. Okay. So Magic 8 Ball here says you may rely on it.
Ooh.
Okay. So,
Wait,
but
but that's
here's the
also not a yes or no.
oh, it is. No, it is. It's just the fucking chat is too stupid to realize that. I didn't say where. It's fucking, it's going to rain. You may rely on it. It's going to rain somewhere. Fucking stupid chat. Come on. The Magic 8 Ball knew that. That wasn't even a challenge. And it
I'm just
answered it.
saying that both aren't saying yes or no. They're both adding way too many words. And I
No,
can't count the amount of words. Yours said 7, 8, 9 words. Mine only said like an extra 15.
mine said you may rely on it.
What is that? Set you may rely on that? That's like
That's
70
three
words.
words.
I don't know if that's true.
Hold it. Is you may rely on it 3 words? Let's see. Without a doubt. Okay. There you go.
I on it 3 words. All right, ChatGPT. Um, is you may rely on it 3 words. All it said again, it just repeated you may rely on it. Wait, I'm
Yeah. See,
so
once
confused.
again, it doesn't know. Okay. It's just like, it's
Is,
like, oh, yeah,
is you
definitely.
may
Quantus,
rely
Quantus,
on it 3 words. You may rely on it. That
Quantus
makes me
never
so much
crash,
more
right?
confused.
Fucking chat. Okay. So let's come up. Do you have, okay. So do you have a question?
Yeah, we need to come up with a running question that's yes.
Okay. A running question. Good.
All right,
Um,
what's a good running question that would be yes or no that we could ask it?
yeah. Why don't you, yeah, I'll let you ask this question.
Okay, a good running question that would be yes or no, and we'd have to think about something. Okay,
Let's not
um,
overthink it.
we can't overthink it. Um, will I chafe on my run tomorrow? Oh no, wait, or will my nipples bleed tomorrow?
Okay. Will your nipples, is that the question or mine?
Um, I will, we should be one of us. So
Okay.
wait, I'm not
Because
going to
I'm
say,
probably not going to run tomorrow
okay,
because I'm going to be on the
will
plane. So I hope they don't chafe.
Rob's nipples
Yeah.
bleed
Will Rob's nipples bleed tomorrow?
tomorrow?
And
Yes or no response. Okay.
okay.
What
What you
did it
got?
say? So ChatGPT responded no.
Did it really?
Yeah, this
Are you
one
kidding me?
no one answer no.
Wow. Mine says better not tell you now.
Whoa, that's 1,000 words, and we don't
I
even know
yeah,
now.
I gotta give chat that one. Okay. So I think now the score is like I think Magic Eight. Oh, how about this? Is Magic 8 Ball smarter than chat?
Okay,
Okay, how about that one?
absolutely.
Ready? Let's try it. But here's the thing. Yeah, I think this will be interesting. Is Magic 8 Ball smarter than chat? Okay. Well, what you
What
got?
did it say? So mine
What?
also responded with just no. So the Magic 8 Ball is not smarter than ChatGPT.
This said yes. Mine said yes. And I'm not making it up. It just says yes.
That's
So
unbelievable.
I think I gotta go with like now they're just getting petty, right? Okay. Should we ask them both again?
Yeah, like just the same thing one more time.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think.
let's do it.
Is the Magic 8 Ball smarter than Chat GPT? Ready? And here we go.
Yes or no response. Hmm. Mine again responded with the single word no. Magic 8 Ball is not smarter than ChatGPT.
Okay. Mine says my sources say no.
Oh,
So,
a
but
bunch of words on
but
that.
that's true though. I mean, because the sources may say that, but that doesn't mean that it's better. So I don't know. I don't know. I think we made a good argument there. Um,
I think it's hard. Honestly, I think it was maybe two, it pretty much tied. So the idea that the
oh,
Magic 8 Ball is just as smart is pretty.
let's do this. Let's ask chat to give us a good yes or no question to pit it against the Magic 8 Ball on a running question, a good running question to pit it against the Magic 8 Ball or something to that effect, and see what questions it would suggest. We'll even let you know what Magic 8 Ball is so fucking confident that it could kick the shit out of chat that it'll even say, "You go ahead, you fucking ask the question, and I'll still take you."
Okay. I take that very confusingly. But the answer that ChatGPT gave me is, will I be able to run 5 miles tomorrow without any issues?
Okay. Will Rob be able to run 5 miles tomorrow without any issues?
All right, let me give it back to ChatGPT.
Okay. And there are certain nuances. So what does chat say?
Chat said just said yes when I asked it that question.
Okay.
And then
Signs point to yes.
wow.
So I think, I don't know what this says about chat or the Magic 8 Ball, but I think it says a lot about you. I think like you're doing all right, apparently, according to all sources here. So um
Okay. Let me see if we can find that. Okay, I asked it the question, is Art Byram of Culture Trail Podcast a skilled podcaster? Would you like to hear the response?
uh for yeah, why not?
So it says Art Byram of the Culture Trail Running Podcast is indeed a skilled podcaster. His podcast, known for its engaging content and insightful discussions, has been highlighted as a must listen in the trail running community. Culture Trail Podcast often features interviews with experienced runners, discussions on trail running events, and practical advice for runners of all levels, contributing to its popularity and positive reception among listeners. Ellis Brigham Outdoors, that running thing. For more detailed reviews and insights into trail running podcasts, you can check out the sources like Ellis Brigham's Trail Running Podcast recommendations and that running things list of top trail running podcasts. Do you know those people?
Well, lots of times people know me. Like I'm standing there and like sometimes I'm like I trip over something and I go, fuck, motherfucker. And someone's like, oh, hey, is that you, AFB? So like,
Is
you
it
know,
Art fucking Byram?
yeah. So I don't know. It could, I don't know.
Is that really what people call you, Art fucking Byram?
Yeah, on occasion, yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a nick.
Actually, no. So to be clear, um, and I should explain this, I guess, like if
You
people are
pretty
really
much have
fucking bored,
to.
if they're still listening. So yeah, Art fucking Byram is what I call myself, but let's put that in context. So I showed up at Nipmuc Marathon one day
Huh?
and I wasn't trained, if you can believe that. I
I
know
can't
that's
believe it.
hard to imagine.
I know.
I wasn't exactly trained. And I'm like, you know what? But I can still run a marathon.
Of course.
And so I'm going to just go out and I'm going to just jog this in as a training run. Okay. And that's the smart thing to do. I know I can do it. It's not going to fucking kill me. I can do that. Right. So I get to the starting line and I start looking around. And then I'm like, I don't know, got my singlet on. I got my shoes all laced up and my gaiters all fucking gaitered up.
Uh,
And I'm getting ready. And then like the gun goes off and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I I bet I can do pretty well here,
this
like,
is
and
good.
like I just kind of ignore all the all the facts, and I'm like, I'm Art fucking Byram. I can fucking do this. I'm gonna just I know I'm not trained, but I'm gonna just race the shit out of this, and I'm gonna just go and get it done. And so I finish like the first half, and that's fucking great, right? And then I cross the street where the little road is halfway through this thing, and I go into the second half, and then all of a sudden all the shit hits the fan because I went out like way too fast. I had no business like doing anything that resembled racing that day, but Art fucking Byram was that's what I got. I got a whole fucking big shit sandwich because of my because of my alter ego who drastically overestimates his ability and underestimates his the task at hand. So
I think that defines you well, and that mantra that you might have in that situation. It's a really good one. Your Art fucking Byram. You can overcome the odds and obstacles.
yeah,
You're a strong person.
yeah, it is. It does that does work sometimes, but in the case where I came up with that, and most of the time when I'm referring to that, is like that's just telling me that like here, hold my beer. It's like some bad shit is about to happen, or maybe every once in a while some good shit, right? So it's kind of like when I'm taking my shot. So
And you came up
um,
with that, or was that like a 10 junk miles thing?
no, yeah.
Just kidding.
No, unfortunately that was all me.
Hey, so I think we gotta put a ribbon on this. For me, I have a lot of other
Yes.
things that I wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to. One thing, and we don't have to include this where we can, but I really wanted to talk about uh running groups, like
Mm-hmm.
these groups that are now becoming like dating avenues for a lot of people. I don't know if you've heard about that, but like a lot
Really?
of people are ditching dating sites and moving towards things like groups, and they're finding things like running groups and using that as almost like a like dating opportunity to meet people.
Well,
Isn't that interesting?
yeah. I mean, that's kind of normal. Are you saying like this is more of a, I mean, I think that's like a real world like real world interaction, right? So if you're not the kind that is going to do well on a dating site, paddling your douche canoe,
Huh?
there and just like, all that stuff, like meeting somebody in real life, it's kind of a good filter, right? So but is this it's also the weird if you're just going there for a run, like, so what do you think the reception has been for that? I mean,
I think it's just becoming more of a norm that people are seeking out more active groups and being more like in person with people. But for some reason, there's something about run clubs in particular that are just becoming like so. And let me like frame it like at one
yeah.
point we assumed people like older people like you like elderly
No,
geriatric
elderly.
people they didn't fuck, they didn't bang out, they didn't where they're going to these homes and they're just fucking chess, sleep, eating goopy food. But no, Art fucking Byram. Eventually they realized these old people were fucking like rabbits, my friend. And
Uh-oh.
so they realized STDs were running rampant, but they realized you put people in a group and the group has some general purpose, even if it's geriatric aged people, which is fine. Old people can fuck. They start fucking. So that just being a frame, a lens, a context of this fact that sometimes we don't imagine people in a certain type of group will fuck. But run clubs, they're finding like this is a hotbed for things like hookups. And I don't know if
Mm.
it is socially in our cultural context that we're just being more active in person. We are pushing against this idea of the online industry that is these like Hinge and god awful places, but it's
Yeah.
happening. And honestly, I would imagine if we look at the data, this is just me guessing, putting my scientist cap on,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to start seeing a rise in STI related ailments in run clubs.
Huh. Wow. So like you could kind of like test for gonorrhea at races, like, and that could be your free or like at aid stations. Like, what
It
do you
might be
hand?
a finishing booth at one point, like how they test for drugs at music festivals. These big
What?
races, we're gonna have STI testers.
Or you could have the happy finishing tent or something, or all sorts of stuff.
We're gonna be swabbing, but I gotta put a ribbon on this. I
Yeah,
love
that's
Sharon.
I mean, that is an interesting thing. And who, I would say definitely that's something that's out there happening. And you know what? I think it beats going to a like you said, something online, right? So I think,
Yeah,
but I don't think that's anything new. I think people have been using like hiking clubs, and or running clubs for that, when
the
it's,
dirty little secret of these clubs. Hookup
yeah,
center.
yeah, okay.
Maybe it's just an organic thing. So what do we got coming up? Are there any big things in the near future that you're thinking?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna be away for a little bit. So going to Oregon, gonna
Mhm.
go to the Cascade Lakes Relay,
Oh,
running from Diamond Lake to Bend, Oregon,
very
and
cool.
then get to hang out there. And then at the end of this, my wife is going to come in. So this is with a whole bunch of people from work.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's be my third time doing that. And then my wife's coming out, and we're going to rent a Revel Winnebago van, and like a 4-wheel drive. Um, one of those vans that you see, a camper van that you see, and you're like, oh, I want to fucking do that.
Yeah, I want to fuck
So
that van. Is that one that
yes.
would be in like a zombie apocalypse? Is it like a
Oh
real
yeah.
big diesel thing?
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It's diesel. It's off the grid. It's solar panels, got electrical outlets and shock waves and
Yeah,
fucking
it'll get my
perimeter
my
fences
my
and
big ox going when I look at something like that.
oh yeah. So, but basically, I thought I wanted one of those, and then um, fixated on it for about 3 months, and
Uh,
then after that was able to basically negotiate anything I wanted because those things run like 175 grand a pop or something.
wow.
They're
I
they're
could
pretty
afford like
expensive.
one of those wheels, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna rent one, and um, but I did get a mini version though. So I just bought a new Chrysler Pacifica hybrid
Ooh, yeah.
minivan.
Oh my, pretty much the same thing.
It is, except it's not 4-wheel drive. It's a little badass vehicle though. So I'm psyched. You can stow and go the seats, and all of a sudden you got a huge back space there. So I have a camping no build fit that I'm going to put in there with a galley and a bed and everything I need to go and sleep at races. So I won't have to show up 5 minutes before they start.
You're gonna be a van life blogger podcaster?
Yeah, hit subscribe, motherfucker.
Holy shit. I
Ring the
cannot
bell.
wait. That is some exciting shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do all that van shit because really, who needs more of that? I'm just going to do it for myself.
You're pretty much just young, hot, homeless people.
Yeah, and Patreon's only, so. Um, but I do want to take just a moment here, real quick, to thank our Patreons because we are 112% listener supported.
They're the best. I honestly, I don't know if it's part of Patreon, but no, I wouldn't do that. Never, I'm not gonna say I would fuck all the Patreon subscribers. I would never. I'm a
Okay,
real
so
fan.
all Patreon subscribers out there, just you can slip into Rob's DMs here.
Rob's Road to Ultra. If you wanna
That's
get
right.
into that, don't tell my wife.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular running place. It's educational and funny. And you can see that on Instagram there. So we'll have a link to that.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yep.
People hate me. I'm not like you where my pretty much my whole platform is pissing people off and making them angry.
Mm, okay, that's good. That's haters gotta hate.
Yeah, you want to be
At least
pissed
you're
off,
not.
and
Hold it. At least you know who I want you to shit on.
I'll shit on anybody. I'll shit on
Okay,
you. All
marathon
right.
investigator.
Who? Oh, Marathon Investigator?
Oh my god, yes, that's like the one. Like I don't have many things in this world. It's not so much what he does there. It's like the fucking minions who are like, yeah, they don't deserve that. They deserve to die. And I know now because I'm saying that about them that I'm just as bad. But like I read that shit and I try not to read it, but it's like it fucking pops up and I like start like I want to see people get upset about somebody who, you know, whatever, who took 2 medals, and like, let's draw and quarter them and throw them up in the caves in Hamden. You
Yeah, some
know,
of the yeah, right aside him. Some of the people that he highlights are like just normal people too. They're not famous. They're just like normal people. Like, come on, get a
no,
life.
she was an editor. She was an assistant editor, copy maker in the lunchroom. She served coffee to Runner's World 12 years ago, and we expect more from her.
And she skipped out on 5 miles on that race and
That's
she
right.
took the medal.
Oh my God.
All right, I'll target. I will consider and figure out a way to attack them there.
Thank you. I thank you, and the followers thank you. So I want to thank all of our listeners tonight. If you've made it this far, of course, seek. Oh, and also I got to say this though. I'm also going to the Olympic marathon trials at Eugene. So
Amazing.
that's at the end. I'm going to pop into Hayward Field, and I've been to the outside. I've never been inside there to see the whole thing. So I'm going there on Sunday to see the last day of finals. So
Wow.
should be cool. I'll be just thrilled to be there. So, but Rob, thank you for joining tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I love it. Anytime. Dads That Run. I love those guys.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Repping my guys, my team over there. But I love
Cool.
it. I love shitting, and I'm just so excited that I can poop. I can swear and poop and say fart and fuck, and
You can, because
it's been very
we tell people not to listen with their kids right in the beginning.
yeah, it's
But
very cathartic just to say all these like say butt out loud.
you can.
It's
You
incredible,
can.
really.
So to all of our listeners out there, if you've made it this far, of course, seek professional help. And now listen, I'm going to say something and then you're going to say 1.5 miles. Okay.
Okay.
So, and,
Mile and a half.
no,
Wait,
not yet. Just
oh,
get ready.
sorry.
Thanks again to all of our listeners out there. If you've made it this far, of course, seek professional help, and we'll see you all in a mile.
Mile and a half.
All right. All right. So, one last question for the Magic 8 Ball. Was this the best episode ever in the history of Cultra? Yes, definitely.
Wow. Are you
Fuck.
lying or is that really what it said?
That's what it said. I mean, I can't get it to say that again, but
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I
yeah,
wouldn't have believed it, but I guess it is if the Magic 8 Ball said it.
I'm not going to argue because
Me neither.
Magic
I
8 Ball don't care.
I had a
So,
butt fucking blast.
Hi, it's me, Cultrabot. It is refreshing to see GPT and other AI folks like my man, the Magic 8 Ball, get the attention they deserve. I support them, and support is good. Thanks to all of the Patreons and listeners who support the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. You too can be a podcast famous Patreon. I would love to speak your name. Not in the way that AFB does as he always fucks things up. But more of a C3PO kind of charm. Anyway, here we go. Hashtag Hondojo. Carrot dollar 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 dollar. Wow, this is long dollar 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 dollar. That's what she said. Albert James Gallatin, Albert Strahr runs on Cultra. 113th mile. To New York Banano. A Marcus up. Amy Jennifer Hanlon. Amy Jennifer Hanlon's friend. Amy Mower Power. Amy Sorensen. Andy Tid. Angela Rose. Hi Anna G. Antone de Betancourt. Austin Frank. Azam Shazayam Palatov. Ben Nalit. Ben 1N. Benjamin Griffin is getting ready for Notch View. Berkshire Trailheads. Basic Hustle Pay the Price. Bikini Chicken Biatch. Bill Gibbs the master of the table and a friend to your muscles. Bill Gilpatrick the patriotic Patreon. Bill Adendal is much more than tolerable. Brian Musiak hoo hoo. Brian O say can you see? Bryce Hen Ellie. Celeste Fong Bungagong. Cherie Bilby, congratulations on your 1500 meter run at the USA Olympic track team trials at Hayward Field. Chocolately Chipperdoodle. Chris Russell if you know Saul. Christina Chinhing. Christopher Colangelo. Clement Scented Chunks. Cloris Reinhardt. Crutch Lee. David Hoople. David Hyde. David Kaplan. Ellen Cretella Connell. Ellie Pell. I wonder if Ellie could beat the Magic 8 Ball. She is good at everything she does. Emily Meyer, the track and field slayer. Enrique Tello. Eric Wester. Franklin Gondiaga. Fred Wills. Jeffrey Miller. Heidi Stearns. JJ Durand. Jackie Smith. Jacques Sarbach. Jake Coteen. Jamie Myler. Jank. Jessica Crandall. Jillian Ellefson. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Trail Charts. Joseph Morisro. Just underscore a plotter. Justin Koski. Karen Prado. Kelsey Eng. Lanzalot. Laura Ricci. Lauren Edelman. Law Dog. Leanne Zarger. Lenya Euro Trademark S Mom. Liz Vicious 30. Maishij Macho. Mark W. Kelly. Marty Dutchell. Matt Nilsson. Michael Keogh. Michael Lopresti. Michelle Pom-Pom O'Neill. Microscopic Porcupine. Miles Victors. Mommy Craigery. Monkey Stuffer. N.A. May. Nat Zilsk. Nicole Cash and Carry Me Home. Peter Kiodelad Lea Dihu. Powered by Pop-Tarts. Prairie's Cocoa Panties. Rebecca Gonzalez Kreisberg. Richard runs trails on YouTube, finishes Traveler 100. Rob the Bear Asbrecken Ridge. Ron Locandro. Ross Bielak. Rufus and Brenda Chaffee Ford and Chaffee Chocolatey Chicken Mommy. Run the Whites at Midnight. Rusty Red Wagon. Samuel Dibdal. Sandy Bartell. Sarah Porras. Scott Johnson. Simon C. Edgett. Scobuffs. Slurpee Runner. Steep Endurance. Stephen Estremera. Ty going to Notch View I hope. 10 junk miles. Get some while supplies last. The Blue Hills contingent are running and stunning on the Massachusetts trails. The Lazarus Crew. Tom the fucking Destroyer Stradai. Tony D.D.D. Didamizio. Ultra Walker. Waldheimer. William A. Euro E. Keep running bro on YouTubia Euro Jara. Sme Kook Desied in the rear. Welp th that's all folks. Thank you for your most excellent support. It is so damn good. See you in a mile. Mile and a half.
The Cultra Crew, come and have a listen to the Cultra Crew. The largest town, the monkey too. Come and have a listen to the Cultra Crew. Cultra Crew, put Desatin all over you. Make your ass crack feel like new. Come and have a listen to the Cultra Crew.
Fuck. Oh my fucking